Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Dr. Linda's show. Today we are going to be looking at the entrepreneurial journey of a great founder who is with us here today, the founder of B4brand, and they specialize in marketing for good and storytelling. She's a storytelling expert. But let me not talk too much. Over to you, Hermine. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, and thank you so much for the invitation, Dr. Linda. So my name is Hermine Mbondo, and I'm the founder of B4brand. So B4brand is a bilingual English-French award-winning storytelling-driven marketing agency for purpose-driven brands. I'm also the founder of Global Impact Hub. It's an online marketing platform that supports change makers through accessible learning and community. So I would say that my work centers on the very idea that marketing should serve a greater purpose. And then I see really marketing as a force of good, and I use it to amplify my clients' impact and to amplify the good work they're doing, making our world a better place and our communities. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you very much. And for those that are watching, if you have questions, of course, I have questions that I've put out for her to answer. But as you are listening, if you have any question you would like her to answer to, please drop it as a comment on any of the platforms you're watching from. I'll pick the question and ask her. And if you're watching this as a replay, feel free to listen to the end so that you can also see all the questions I have for her and the questions other people asked and her responses to them. All right. So back to you, Hermine. Please, could you take us to the origin story of your business? What inspired you to start it?
Yes, so I moved here from France about 9 years ago now, like time flies. And prior to moving here, like I had like about a decade of international work experience. Like I worked in France, I worked many years ago in Vancouver, I worked in the States. Like I was going back and forth between France and like the US and Canada. And then when I moved here, like many newcomers, your first experience, like, you need the Canadian experience. I kind of managed to get a job in my field in like within 2 weeks, which was really amazing. And I really loved my job, but it's just that I didn't have the same, I would say, level of like responsibilities that I had in France, which happened to many newcomers. And I actually feel I was kind of one of the luckiest ones in the sense that I had a job in my field and they did recognize my experience, my prior experience in Vancouver. So it was kind of great, but like after a year, it was kind of like, okay, what am I going to do next now kind of thing. And then I started just thinking, I was just like kind of like reflecting on my journey, what I'm going to do next. And then I started going to events, and especially there was an organization called Women in Business, I think. And then there were like a lot of women from different parts of the world, like newcomers here who were women in business. Like they were like very successful women, and then just hanging out with them, going to these events, listening to them, like I got really inspired. And then what happened is just, I don't know, it was just, I don't know, sometimes I say I have a little angel or something watching over me. As I was just thinking about my next step, a former CEO I worked with in France like reached out to me, and then she was working for an organization. They just merged with another company, so they became this big organization. And she's like, I'm looking for a marketing manager. She was based in France, so I was like, oh yes, okay, I'm in Toronto. I'm not planning to go back to France right now. And then she's like, okay, so then she's still like, she was the kind of woman who doesn't take no for an answer, like no. And then she kept pushing, and then she was like, okay, she sent me a first job description, and I was like, yeah, that's nice, but like I'm really not going back to Paris at the moment. And then she called me. She's like, okay, I mean, what are you doing now? What are your dreams for the future and everything? So I started talking with her, and I explained to her what I was going through. Like she was just listening to everything I was telling her. And then she came back with another job description that was exactly what I told her over the phone. Like, it was hard for me to say no at that point, because like this is what I wanted. And then I was like, okay, this is really great. Like, that's exactly what I want to do, but I'm still not going back to Paris. I'm still not going back to France. She's like, no problem, no worries. You can just like work from Toronto and then like supervise the team as like the head of marketing. And then I was like, and at that moment, I just said, okay, but I'm gonna work for myself, like with my own business. And she's like, okay, don't worry about, like, that's fine. Like, she was a CEO, so she's like, that's fine. It's okay. And then I was like, oh wow, actually, yeah, I can sell myself as a consultant. I can sell myself as a, and that was like my, like, literally that's how it started. And it just happened that that collaboration didn't happen for like unforeseen circumstances, like out of our control, both of us. But literally, that woman gave me the little push I needed to just be like, okay, to recognize I'm bilingual in Canada. I have a master's degree. I have a decade of international work experience in France, Canada, and the US. This is valuable. And then when I started my agency, because I had this like decade long of experience, I wanted to do marketing differently. I worked in different industries in the past, and I love to say that I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly side of marketing. And I really wanted to use it as a force of good. I would say my longest and experience prior to starting my agency was in the food industry, which I love. I'm a big foodie, but there's really bad things that in the food industry when it comes to like processed food and what we eat. Like, I really care about all of those things. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do marketing differently. I don't want to trick consumers into just like consuming, like buying things. I want to educate them. I want to elevate brands that are really making the world a better place. And that really helped me kind of like find my niche and align my business with my own personal values. So that's basically how I started.
Wow, that's amazing to see how, your conversation with another woman has led to like giving you that push that you needed to, take your own path.
Yes,
That's,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay. So, based on what you told me now, the question on my mind is, what kind of services does your marketing agency offer?
Yes, so we help our clients. It can be anything from a very strategic level, like we need strategy for like a go-to-market strategy. We need a marketing plan. We also will do the implementation. We'll create content, and when I say content, it can be any kind of content. It's like written content, visual content. Like, we do videos. We can help with like other kind of different content. We're also very strong when it comes to branding, like telling brand stories. Like, the storytelling part of it is like one of our strengths, I would say. But like, we will create brands from scratch, like with the brand story, the brand attributes, help with like positioning the brand and like the brand persona and all of that. So yeah, so that's what we do, and we do it in both English and French. We take a culture first approach. When I say English and French, it's not necessarily that we're going to translate from one language to the other language, because sometimes it doesn't even work. So we really take a culture first approach. Like, sometimes for some clients, we will have a different approach if it's like a national campaign when it comes to like French, like Francophone communities versus the rest of Canada. So that's what we do.
Yeah, you mentioned a very important aspect of your work there, which is the French to English, like offering services in French and English, and then pointing out that it's not just about translation, because somebody can easily feel like, oh, I can use Google to translate, or any other AI translating app, right, to translate my English ad to my French ad. But you pointing out culture there is very important, because it's like, how will a French person like to receive their thing, versus an English person? And those little differences can be the reason, your message is sticking or not sticking at all. That's
Yes,
very important.
exactly.
Cool. Who are your like target audience or the people you serve? Is it like entrepreneurs? What kind of people do you serve?
Yes, so I would say we work for mission-driven companies, and by that I mean like any companies, because like we are industry agnostic. So it can be any companies that is like for profit or non-profit. If they're for profit, they want to make money, but they also want to have a positive impact. It's not just all about making money. We
Mhm.
end up having our clients. We work a lot with like a lot of stuff like non-profits, government agencies, but also for-profit businesses. Like for example, in the food industry, can be like organic brands. Like I also want to support diverse food entrepreneurs. Like I'm personally part of like different incubator and accelerator programs to support equity deserving entrepreneurs. So I do work with them through those I would say organizations. But like on a B4brand, like really the agency side, these are more like established companies. It's only because like when you're like starting, like sometimes you don't have a, like when you like a startup and like starting your business, you might not have enough money to hire an agency. So we mostly work with them like through those programs that I work with them, because like they receive funding or support,
Mhm.
and that's how we can help them. But our agency, yeah, we work more with like middle-sized established businesses, but like non-profit or for-profit, as long as the goal is not just to ask people to buy stuff, but also like make some positive impact. And we love educating also consumers through the campaigns that we create.
I see. Okay. So, in your opinion, what sets you apart? That's your business apart from your competitors.
I would say several things. Like I mentioned before, like the culture first approach, which is not
Mhm.
just like we're translating,
Mhm.
which is very important. The fact that we also guided by purpose. This just the same as our clients. Like we're not for everyone, and that's okay. Like I will not work for a company like it's like asking me to promote cigarettes, because I mean, yeah, people take pleasures in smoking. That's great. But then for me, I don't see how it's making the world a better place. So it's not aligned with my own personal values. So we're like very a value driven agency. Like that's how we choose our clients. And we're okay to say no. And you know what? Actually, one of the things I'm like so proud of, and I realized that like my team knows. We were working on an RFP. So an RFP is a request for proposal, and it was like this website for like this big organization that was like a great, like really interesting RFP. And then at some point my team, because they were doing the due diligence, so like researching the company and etc., and like they found some really bad things about this company in terms of like values. So they were like, Hermine, we know this is like a very interesting project, but this is not aligned with our agency. And I was like, oh my god, they get it. Like that's what you want, right? Like
Yeah.
when your team feels comfortable and to tell you that, okay, we don't want to work on this RFP because it's not aligned with the values like of our agency. Like it was a really proud moment for me, to be honest. But that's what it is. And also like the people who work at B4brand, they get it. And I
Mhm.
think it's like, yeah, something I'm very, very proud of.
Excellent. So, there's a question I have for you before before the next one, which is your business model. So is it like a one-time payment and then you get the thing done, or is it like people sign up with you and then they can pay monthly, or like do you want to talk more about that?
Yes, so the business models is, well, it depends. With some clients, we have like annual contracts. These are returner contracts, so we know we're gonna work with them like every year. We like negotiate and like start
Mhm.
the contracts. And then other clients, it's based on a project. So like they have a campaign, they will work with us, and then once they have another campaign, they will work with us. So um Yeah, so it really depends. I would say it's a mix of like most of our clients. I would say, yeah, we it's very rare that we only work on one project. Like we might start working on one project, then they're going to give us other projects.
Mhm.
So it really based on projects, but it's usually like a long-term kind of relationship most of the time.
I get it. Okay, so let's look at business milestones. What business milestones have you achieved so far? And I know you guys have gotten some awards, so maybe you could talk more about that.
Yes, I guess. Yeah, we won a few awards. And I'm really proud because like it's like a collective work. We won. So if I go back, the first one I think it was in 2021. Yes, when we won, it was like Toronto Star, the Readers' Choice Awards. We won best advertising marketing agency, and we won the second place for best graphic design services. We also won a few other awards last year, and like this year, we got the best purpose-driven marketing agency, which I'm like kind of proud of. But I think for me personally, it's like the 7 years milestone when I hit that, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been doing this thing for like 7 years. Time flies, and that was a proud moment for me because like entrepreneurship is not something I envision in like when I was before I started this thing. I was just thinking,
Mhm.
what is my next step? You know, like what I'm gonna do next. And then I got this opportunity that was kind of given to me, and I took a leap of faith, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna work for myself, and that's how I started. And I had no idea what to expect as an entrepreneur whatsoever. um but I think yes, it's like 7 years, and I was like, wow, 7 years. It's actually someone who had a conversation with someone, and it was like 7 years in business. Like you should be proud of yourself. Not everyone will make it to 7 years, and at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, 7 years. That might be something. It's something.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's good that you mentioned that because what was coming to my mind when you said 7 years is there's this statistics that most entrepreneurs don't make it to the fifth year, right? So 7 years means you've crossed that critical mark. I think a follow-up question to that would be, what do you think made it possible for you to survive?
I think the first thing is like I had no idea what to expect. I'm gonna say that it's weird because it's kind of like that's not an advice, but it's because if someone would have told me when I said I'm gonna do this as an immigrant, like I was only here, like I just moved like a year ago when I had this crazy idea, oh, I'm gonna start my own business. And like way back, like now we have more support from the government, all these programs, but way back it was less. I had very limited network. Like I had no idea what I was putting myself into. So I'm so happy nobody told me you're gonna have like, go through this, because I would have said, oh no, 9 to 5, I'm good, I'm good. Just give me another 9 to 5. So I think it was that, but also because I think I'm a born entrepreneur without even knowing it. And it's interesting because like when I started my business, I wrote a blog post. It's called the day I became an entrepreneur. Because even myself, I was like, what? You're an entrepreneur now? You know, it's like I couldn't even believe it. And I was like, I need to reflect on this. Like, what happened? And I actually realized I had all those like I had the mindset of an entrepreneur. Like when I was telling you, I was going back and forth between France and Canada and the US.
Mhm.
Every time I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job. I don't know what to expect. I'm going to another country without a job, without any friends or family. It's like believing in yourself, just like you just dare. I'm going to
Mhm.
dare to do this. I'm going to dare to do this. And I'm the kind of person I always think I don't want to have regrets when I'm old. So when I want to do something, I don't really think about failure. I think about lessons. So when I want to do something, I always tell myself, okay, just go and try. Try and see. And I think that's the mindset of like an entrepreneur. You want to try and see. And then, okay, you learn from your failure and then you you go back and do it again. So I just realized I had that mindset, but without knowing, like, that's the mindset I needed. And it really, really helped me, because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna dare, I'm gonna go to this event, I'm gonna talk to this person, I'm gonna try this, and then we'll see. Yeah.
Good. And the truth is that everything rise and fall on mindsets. I see mindset as what makes a difference between a foam and a stone. Without the right mindset, things just fall apart, right? Because that may also mean that when you hit trouble, you're going to run run away, instead of trying the next thing. And sometimes it's that next thing you try that will end up, maybe pulling you through or even making your business more profitable. So the mindset is definitely a great one.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at challenges. Of course, we looked at some of the, milestones that you're and proud moments. So, what were the challenges you faced in the early stages, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, I think early stages was just like not knowing a lot of things. You don't know what you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. And my business, I think, like many other businesses, and that's how I see it, we are in the relationship business. Like, that's what it is. Like, sometimes you get a project because someone just like know you, and like they just brought your name in a room you were not in the room. Like, that's how like opportunities happen, a lot of them. So it's a relationship business. So that's why I think like starting as a newcomer is even harder, because you don't have that network. You really don't have that network, and you have to put yourself out there. You don't have a choice. Like, nobody knows you. So you have to like pitch your business, and you have to put yourself out there, and you have to just like talk about what you do, and people will see your passion, and then it's just grow from there. But at the beginning it was like, where should I go, like what should I do? And I started going to at first, when I started this my business, I was a lot outside. A lot outside, going to a ton of events, meeting people, learning the like anything. I was like a sponge, you
Mm-hmm.
take it all in, you take it all in. So that was like the part that was difficult. Then it was when I started building a team. It's like building a team it's another kind of set of challenges,
Mm-hmm.
because who am I going to work with? Are they aligned with like the vision that I have, etc., etc.? So like building that team. And then once you have a team, you need to set up all those processes, to work with different people. And then I became an HR without having that, background with the HR. But yeah, and then I think now, my biggest and my latest challenge was more related to mental health, because I had like a personal challenge in my personal life, and that impacted my business. And really at that point I just realized how, like, I knew mental health was very important. Like we talked about having that mindset, like it's a game changer when you have that mindset and you can believe in yourself. But when all of that goes away and then you face like mental health challenges, it's almost like not too long ago I realized everything I took years, and like I was building all of that, I could lose all of it because I was not feeling well. And not only it was impacting me, it was also impacting other people around me. I'm going to give you a really concrete example. I was going through like really personal challenges, which made it very hard for me, even like to keep up with things like um, approving the payroll with my accountant. So I was kind of delaying the approval, and then my employees were paid a little bit later just because I was just like going through my own personal thing. And like one day, someone from my team like scheduled a meeting with me, and like he asked me like, what's going on with the with the payroll, like why are we paid like late? And I was like, yeah, it's because I'm going through things. And then that's what it hit me. Like, people rely on me to pay rent, to schedule the vacation, to do things, and and it just hit me. It's just like, I have to be well, not just for myself, but like other people rely on me, and like all this hard work that I put in, and like all these years of like working and like with clients, like even like right now, to be honest, I have like 5,000 emails unread, like I have to follow up still. But I just realized, like, okay, I cannot, like, I have to take it very seriously. So yes, like now protecting my peace is like the most important thing right now for me. It's
Mhm.
just like protecting my peace.
Wow. And this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs may go through or are currently going through, and you or have gone through. So this, because it can be so overwhelming, business, and sometimes even like from mental health to actual physical health problems that comes from stress,
Yes.
that comes from stress. Because and sometimes we sort of imagine those to be maybe something somebody can go through when their business is not working, but no, even when your business is working. Because like at a time in my own life, I was in a space where my business is working, and just I was trying to start a second business, like more like an expansion. And initially in my head, I was like, okay, I'm just going to hire a business manager to just take care of that and pay them, and they can even share profit. I had all these good things in my head, but when the business started, I sort of like, the entrepreneur mindset is different. You don't just hire people and turn them to entrepreneurs. That was a business lesson I learned.
Yeah.
If you are hiring a business manager for a business that is already there, has all the services, that's a different thing from hiring somebody and turning them to entrepreneurs. Because as an entrepreneur, you're coming up with solutions to problems daily, weekly, as the case may be. So it's forced me to managing a primary business, managing a second business. So I saw myself, for example, in a day, I'm on 6 hours call, and this is like back to back, minus every other thing, just maybe trying to set something up, trying to work on things. It tore me apart. So the point is this is not what you go through just when business is not working. Even when business is working, you
Yeah.
can see yourself overwhelmed, like
Yes.
physically overwhelmed, and that can lead to a lot of trouble. And part of that overwhelm, I so in all of this, I travel, blood pressure is high, this is this, and I sleep from the staircase, and I broke my ankle, and boom, and all of it. So
No.
what you are saying, I can relate to. Do you get the point? And
Yeah.
like, if you don't even put the stop yourself, nature will put the stop for you.
Yes. Yes.
However, like when I broke my leg, I'm like, 6 months, I'm out. I'm out. I took the break I didn't want to take. I took it. And then at the end of the 6 months, I got pregnant, and that started a new long time absence. So that break extended beyond what I anticipated. But the point is, when if you refuse to take a break, then nature, or to conserve your energy, sometimes either in form of mental health challenge, physical health challenge, blood pressure issues, this, that, the challenges come. So it's an important point that you're
Yes.
bringing out there.
Yes.
So how do you protect you talked about protecting your space, protecting your peace. How do you do that? Like, at least one way.
Yeah, like I started, like I used to be an athlete way before track and field, like that was what I was doing. And then I started, I love nature. So like every weekend I go hiking. I just love it. I do a lot of like outdoor physical activities these days, which is great. It helps me keep in shape, and it's really great. Like I just love to go like nature, and then just walk and peace and quiet. Well, no, it's not always peace and quiet, because like sometimes we're like climbing up stuff. It's kind of dangerous
Mm.
sometimes, but yes. And also I think surrounding yourself with the right people. Um, yeah, like it's like it's so important. I have no problem removing myself from, like, if I feel the environment is toxic or it's not making me feel good about myself, like I will remove myself, or people where I will just like kind of stay away from, um because yeah, they can have like a negative impact on me, which will have a negative impact on like other people around me and in my business.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's very much about, I think, like now I work like literally 9 to 5, like after 5 I don't even have the strength of like working anymore. So I work less and I do more of the things that I love doing. That's what I'm doing these days.
That's good. Okay, so let's look at how do you approach decision making under uncertainty?
Oh, okay. So I have some people, when I say surrounding myself with like people, I have some people that I consider advisors. So sometimes when I don't know something, like actually my I always know that I don't know everything. That's like the first thing. I'm like, you don't know everything. Like everyone you meet in your life will know something that you don't, and they will be better at it. So once you kind of have those people where you know that you can like call or just ask, oh, can I pick your brain, can you, because I'm a solo founder. Because I'm a
Okay.
solo founder, I can only argue with myself. If I'm making a decision. And I think being a solo founder, like sometimes I was actually sometimes thinking maybe it would be better to have a co-founder, because like that other person will bring something you don't have, and like they will complement your skills. But then the other way of doing it is like finding some advisors, right? Because like, and having those people who can help you make those decisions. So yeah, I try to like inform myself, like educate myself, and then also when I don't know something, and I'm trying to ask other people, like if they can, like just like if I can pick their brain kind of thing.
Okay. All right. I have a different question, which is how do you stay informed on the changes in your industry, like marketing industry now?
Oh wow, it goes so fast, right? So fast. So something like I established with the agency, it's like Monday morning is like Teams meeting, um and then everyone can share anything that they've learned in their own field, because even themselves, like the developer is like looking into what's new in terms of like development,
Mhm.
the designer, all of them. So like we kind of trying to share the knowledge like as a team first. And also like I try to go to like events, and I'm also lucky because something I haven't said, but I'm also a marketing professor, so like I teach. So because I teach, I also have to stay up to date. It's like, yeah, it's a great way to stay up to date because you teach, and like every time you need to change, even if you like teaching the same course, but you will change the curriculum.
Mhm.
I've seen like the difference, like with AI within the past. I mean, the students now, like the way they're using it, and then you need to find ways of even like educating them on how to use it, because like now everyone is like using it, but like
Mhm.
are they using it the right way? So
Mhm.
I have to stay ahead because I also teach.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. So like I will go to conferences, I will take myself, I will even take like courses and like do all these things to just stay up to date about what's new, especially when it comes to AI, and like having like some kind of like ethical use of AI.
Mhm.
Because I cannot tell my students not to use it. Like the truth is, when they're gonna start working, you work in marketing, we use it all the time. Like I use
Mhm.
AI every day. So like they should, but like my role is to, and that's how I see it, like help them use it the best way possible. It's a tool, and like
Mhm.
you need to know how to use that tool. So yeah, I'm a very curious person. That's my nature, so I always try to like kind of know what's going on and try and see. Yeah.
I get you. Okay, so let's look at collaborations and partnerships. What kind of collaborators or partners are you looking for, if any?
Yeah, so This year we are going into bigger. We're gonna try. Not we're gonna try. We're gonna do it. I'm not gonna. Say we're gonna try. We're gonna do it. So we are going after like bigger contracts and like, So I'm always like looking when it comes to collaborators, people who are aligned in values with us, and like I tend to not I tend like all of my collaborators, actually we are aligned in terms of values, like the way we work, the way we see marketing, the way we see servicing clients, like we align in all of those values, but they bring complementary skills that I don't have, which is great, and it helps us like work on like different kind of projects. So usually it's like people reaching out to me because they check out our website and they're like, oh, we love the work you do, we love your philosophy, the way you see marketing, we very much align, and then we collaborate because there's an alignment. So always looking for those people in the creative space.
I get you. Can you give like maybe three names of the kind of people you are looking to collaborate with?
Yes. So right now it's not so much a collaborator, but it could become like it's like more like it could be like I would say people like copywriters, for example, like who's doing copywriting, but like who understands storytelling when it comes to like telling stories and like being a
Mhm,
copywriter.
mhm,
Um, could be like people like graphic designers, only because having worked like so many years with graphic designers, they all have their style.
mhm,
Some will be like more like illustrators, some will be more like motion design. They all have their little flair, their little
mhm,
style. So always looking for like new graphic designers, because based on how like they work, it might align with like some of our clients' project, and it's like this is the perfect fit for this specific project. Um, Also people in, yeah, I would say like copywriter, graphic designers, could also be developers on like very specific projects. Um, but anyone who is in a creative space, even like people who are like strategists, but I would say when I say copywriting, it's more like someone who is a voice, they understand what it is to be a voice and to utilize that voice and to tell a story in a
mhm.
very compelling way to emotionally connect, with the audience. Yeah, these are a few examples. We also work with people for like video production, for
Mhm.
example, also.
Okay. So, you talked about working with people whose value aligns with yours. So the question I have for you is, what are your core values?
I would say, you mean when it comes to working
Business.
relationship, or?
Yeah, no, core values and how they influence your business relationships. So it's more like, for example, when you say somebody whose value aligns with yours, right, or with that of your business, what are those values that you're looking for?
Yeah, so most of the time it will be people who have the same alignment in terms of the kind of clients that we're looking for. Um, they're also looking for like to work for mission driven organizations, like just this kind of clients.
Mhm,
Also, I would say integrity. It's like they when we work on a project, because it's always based on trust, especially at the beginning, it's based on trust, but they understand that, we like cheerleaders for our clients, because we love what they do. Like we are the biggest cheerleaders, we want our clients to win, and most of the time we will go above and beyond, because we're very passionate about what we're doing. It's not like a transaction thing. It's like we're doing this because this will have an impact. Like we see the bigger picture
mhm,
of just like, okay, they're gonna pay us money. Like, of course, we're not like volunteering. We want to be paid. But what I'm saying is like they take this project not just, oh, it's a transaction, and like, it's just a
mhm,
transaction thing. It's no. We like, this will make an impact. Like we're so passionate about it, so we're gonna become like our clients' biggest cheerleaders, and like we're gonna root for them. So we tend to go above and beyond even of what is like expected from us. And that also the kind of like client relationship that I like. They understand that like it's a given. Like there are things that I won't even have to ask because we will just get it instead of saying, do you want to, you have to do this. No, the person will understand. Yeah, I have to do this. This is what I'm doing. But I would say, yeah, these are like the core values.
I get.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. What about funding status? Are you bootstrapping or are you looking for investors?
No, I'm not looking for investors. No, I'm not. I'm not. But I became an investor myself. And like everything I do, like impact is my north star. So I became an impact investor. Meaning that it's like being an angel investor, but for like startups that are making the world a better place. Like usually they are trying to advance some of the UN SDGs, like sustainable
Mhm.
development goals, or whatever that they're doing that is making the world and now communities a better place, and all of that. Um, so like again, as an investor, I want to make money, but also I want to amplify the impact. So money for me is more like a tool to like invest in those companies because I want to see them win again.
Mhm.
And I became an investor. It's just like entrepreneurship wasn't something I
Mhm.
planned. Like nothing in my life is actually planned. It seems like it, but but it's interesting. It's just because I kind of like I went to an event. I think it was a couple of years ago or 2.5 years ago, and I
Mhm.
met an investor and I started talking about what he was doing. It was a VC, and then I was like, oh, this is very interesting. And then I started like researching and like trying to learn a little bit more, and I saw the stats where I think like for example last year in Canada, women-owned businesses only received like 4% of VC funds. So imagine diverse women, it's even like smaller than that, which is like really really bad. And
Mhm.
then over a year ago I took a course like to become an angel investor, but for like diverse, like the goal was to have more diverse investors.
Mhm.
And I take it very seriously because like myself being on the other side, I know the challenges. My personal challenges, I would say, as a Black woman, immigrant woman, and all of that, like I know my personal challenges, and that, so I can like put myself in the shoes of other founders who are going through the same like similar challenges, and I know how hard it is for them. And then for me, money is really a tool. I use it as a tool. Like this is
Mhm.
how I can support those businesses with my money and invest in what they're doing because I believe in themselves. In them, I mean, I believe in what they're doing and the impact that they're trying to make. And yeah, and that's how I see it. So these days, when I invest, I'm like targeting women-owned businesses, diverse owned businesses. um and like lately I just realized, because I learned so much about all the health issues specifically Black women are going through and they're not addressed.
Mhm.
So anything like right now I'm like super passionate about anything that is solving those problems, like in like the health kind of like space.
I
But
get.
then like the different investment that I've done also, it was like different kind of businesses, so it wasn't like also industry agnostic, but I try to really support equity deserving founders, more than anything else. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Talking about the investing, so if somebody wanted to reach out to you for investing, for example, do you invest like maybe with a group, or is it one-on-one? Like if you spot the business and you like it, and then you can go on to invest.
Yeah, so like okay, so far it's been with like VC funds and stuff, only because the due diligence part, like it's the part that like I'm not like a super fan of it. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
I have investors, friend of mine, like they love it. They love the due diligence, going all the papers, interviewing founders and all of that. Like some people love doing it.
Mhm.
For me, I'm like very someone who's like driven by like my passion and my emotion, and then like when I have to start doing accounting, going through all the finances and all of that, like it's less fun for me. So I do it in the safest way,
Mhm.
which is like more through like VC funds. Um, but like I think also like for me it's new. It's been like just a year, so I'm like still going through this journey myself. And then
Mhm.
once I think I will feel more comfortable, I will start probably doing those one-on-ones. But like some companies have reached out to me. Like I'm getting better at that. Like even recently I almost made an investment, but then like some companies are reaching out and like they're so like they already have the pitch deck and everything
Mhm.
ready to be reviewed. But yeah, I'm going through my own personal journey. Even like my personal investment thesis is like evolving as I'm
Mhm.
going through this journey. So it's an exciting journey, and we'll see where I will go in this
Good.
journey.
Good. Progress. Progress. Okay, so let's look at what's your vision for your business?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question that I had to like even ask myself recently when I was going through all my challenges I was telling you. It was like okay, and at that moment I even thought, okay, all these years like I'm gonna give up everything and then maybe I go back and like do something else in another country, which was crazy. But like at the end of the day, like right now where I am, like I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Obviously, um, to be very practical, I would say, yeah, I want to get in new clients. I want to expand overseas. I want to do this. I want to do that. But like right now, I think honestly, all I'm trying to accomplish is just to be happy. Just happy. And it was just like that simple for me. I was like, yeah, I'm just like I just want to be happy and still passionate about what I'm doing. I think eventually, but like to be really quite honest, because I realize like right now, like I said, I'm working 9 to 5 and like slowly like I'm reducing my hours.
Mhm.
And I was having a conversation with someone, and that's when I realized maybe I should kind of start thinking about kind of like an exit kind of thing. Not that it's not something you do overnight.
Mhm.
And like where I am, I'm not saying I'm gonna give up everything. It's just that maybe I will have like I will work less and like have more of like an advisory role at some point, and like
Mhm.
just have someone else who will take that and like hopefully take it to the next level. I don't know, but all I know is that um yeah, like I'm starting slowly to think about, okay, what's
Mhm.
next. Am I going to skip working this as my main business, especially because I do so many other things? And if not, maybe I should already start aligning, like trying to find someone who will get my vision, kind of like another me,
Mhm.
who will like become like the CEO, and I will maybe just be like an advisor or something. But so far I'm like super passionate about what I do, so we'll see. I mean, it's been over 7 years, so I kind of feel like yes, I have accomplished what I have accomplished. I'm proud of myself. For someone who had no plan, like I'm like proud of myself. It's like now, and I'm very much like that's why I was like this is a very interesting question, because that's the question I'm asking myself. What are you going to do next? I know what it will take me to take it to the next level. Like I have it planned, like I even prepared myself. But then I'm like, do I want to do it? Do I need someone else? Do I like right now I'm asking myself those questions.
Mhm.
That's where I am. So that's why I'm like, very interesting question. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, take your time. At least maybe before it hits the first decade, right? Which is more like roughly 2 to 3 years from now. Max, you should have come up with something.
Yeah, and like the beauty is like I'm not in a rush. Like I said, I love what I'm doing, so I'm
Mhm.
not in a rush, but it's more like long term now. Like because I'm also entering a new season in my life. Like a few things are
Mhm.
changing in my personal life, so it's like okay,
Mhm.
we
It's
have to make
okay.
those decisions.
Okay. What business lessons have you learned that you wish you knew earlier?
um Something I learned, but I think I knew it. It's just like start with what you have. Like I started my business with a laptop. That's all I had. It's a laptop, and I started my business. Like start with what you like. Don't wait to have everything perfect. Just start and like baby step, and you can like learn as you go and make changes as you go. But like just start. You start.
Mhm,
It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. Like you have to ride, you have to start, you have to learn how to do it. So just start. um but things that I learned, that I wish I knew earlier, like I would say like mental health. Like I didn't realize how big of an impact it is.
mhm,
um and it's just so important. So that is something for me that now I take very very seriously. um and then I would say that your network, it's not just like it's your net worth or things like that. It's like sometimes you don't realize the impact you're making. You don't even realize how many people are cheering, and like rooting for you. And I just like I had moments where I met people and they were like, "Oh yeah, I've been following you. I love your work." And I'm like, "Who are you?" It's like because I didn't know. And you have those moments. You're like, "Yeah, people are watching. People are rooting for you." So you're never really alone, even when you feel like you're alone. And you
mhm,
will have those moments where you will feel like you're alone because it's a roller coaster. And um but then yeah, you don't know, like, so like sometimes I receive like DMs on LinkedIn, like people sending me messages and that, and then I just actually realize like, yeah, some people are making an impact on these people's lives. So um yeah, you like, even when you feel like you're alone, you're like never really really alone. So
mhm,
that's also great. And I know it's kind of cheesy, but like remember your why, because you will need it. You will have those moments of challenges. You're like, what am I doing? I want to do a 9 to 5, and then you remember why you decided to do this. So yeah, remember your why. And I guess also because like I'm in this phase, but like I also met founders who were successful and decided to go back to doing something else. And it's like,
mhm,
for me at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yeah, like I'm just trying to be happy. So whatever makes you happy, this is your journey, this is your decision, and like just do you. you know that's it.
Okay, you give us like 3 lessons right there. Thank you very much for being generous. Okay, let's
Sorry,
look
when
at.
once I start talking, I'm just like I'm just like chatting.
That's okay. That's good. I love it. Okay, let's look at what's like if somebody wants to learn more about your business, where should they go to? Is it like your website, your social media handle? Which one? Tell us more.
Yeah, so the website b4brand.ca, that's the best place to go, because you people will be able to see some of our projects, and also what we like, our mission and vision, what we stand for, our approach to marketing, why we're different, and the impact that we try to accomplish. So very much I would say the number one place is b4brand.ca, our website. And then so usually, and it's something I have noticed, I don't know if other people have noticed it, but like a lot of like marketing agencies and like even people I know who are very successful, sometimes you go to their social media, they're not super active because we're busy handling our clients social media platforms. Like we don't have time to do ours. Like if you check our Instagram, we're not super active. It's just we're just so busy, we don't have time. I would say the website is the number one place. And when it comes to social media, like we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn. But LinkedIn might be a better place. It's just because I'm personally active on LinkedIn, so I try to like post. But yeah, the website first, and then LinkedIn second, I would say. But like, if you don't see us active, like on other social media platforms, we're just busy working for our clients. That's why.
That's good. Yeah, I understand what you're saying because like I was talking to someone recently that writes, and he says, "Oh, most times I'm not like I have to write for like I'm writing for somebody, so because of that, writing my own takes even more time." So I can understand what you mean. All right. So what about the before we talked about maybe looking for collaborators or partners like copywriters, web developers, graphic designers. Where should those people go to? Is there a specific place on your website that they can look?
Yes. So on our website, there's a form, like people can just like send a spontaneous application if they want. There's also a contact form, or they can send us an email to hello@b4brand.ca. And then, yes, like actually one of someone who reached out, it was I think 2 or 3 years ago, I don't even remember, we became like really great friends. She literally reach out to the agency with like, oh, this is a project, I would love to collaborate with you, like I went to your website, I love what you do, I would love to collaborate with you. And then we had a virtual call, and then we clicked, and then we became friends. So yeah, I have like great stories about that. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Hmm, okay. So, what question do you wish that I have asked? Maybe about your company, about your business, about your journey that I have not asked yet.
Oh,
Maybe let's look at two.
that's a good question. You ask so many great questions. What can I come up with now? Um, Oh, I guess maybe I can talk about my volunteer work, which is like not even my company, but also like my my volunteer work, because like I said, everything I do, like I try really to try to make an impact. And it's not just through my work, it's also reflected in my volunteer work. So I could say that right now I'm currently, for example, a member of Catalyst Now. So Catalyst Now is a global movement of social innovators driving change to achieve the UN Sustainable Goals by 2030. I'm also an advisory board member at the Canadian Women's Chamber of Commerce. And also, I was like, I recently joined We Do Canada as a marketing director slash board director. So We Do Canada is part of a global movement to educate, support, and empower women entrepreneurs. So I would say that like everything I do, I try to really support and advance like causes I care about. Like entrepreneurship is one of them, being a woman myself, so like supporting other women. But like I'm also an advisor to like incubator and accelerator programs for equity deserving groups. So yes, I very much try to make an impact, whether it's my work with the agency or even my volunteer work. That's what I try to do. So that's
Amazing.
one question.
Yes.
I think that's good enough. You ask all like only good questions. So we
What,
all
what, what about what about like when selecting teams or building teams? Do you have like maybe any advice for entrepreneurs?
test them. Like for me, yeah, like because I run an agency, like someone was like, I'm a designer. Okay, I've worked many years with designer, but like I give people case studies. This is part of the interview, like really to see the work. Because a lot of people will say, I can do this, I can do this, and then they start working. You're like, oh, I thought you said you can do it. You don't want to, like, you don't want
Mhm.
to. So like yeah, I have like real case studies, like it's part of my interview process.
Hmm. That's a very interesting one. Like in terms of testing case studies, right? Because I think one of the reasons is because of the field, like the graphic design space, the creative space is a field that a lot of people can enter without adequate training sometimes, right? Why they are great people, then but because it's mixed population, so the testing does help you to see what somebody can do on the spot, not even what they said they've done before. Because sometimes you're also working with you're trying to hire people, and sometimes somebody can send you their portfolio, but how are you certain that this portfolio was done by them 100%? Do you get the point? So the testing and case study we play a huge role.
Yeah, I have to say, to be honest, for me, like if someone sends me their portfolio, I will trust it's their portfolio. The case study is very much to see their approach to the work, to see how it fits with the agency. So like I said, someone can be a copywriter, but like we have like very specific topics that we will want to talk about. I want to know if you if you know, like someone can be very very technical in, like, I don't know, talk about something, but like I'm gonna give you a real example. Like for example, let's see, we had a client in the HR space where they wanted to talk about diversity and inclusion and all of that, and like why it's important. Like some people don't have the lived experience to really talk about it. Like they can be great writers, but like what they're gonna write doesn't resonate with, the lived experience of people who have been through those things.
Mm,
So I test them because like it's like I want to see, like I believe you're skilled. I believe you have all the skills. I've seen your portfolio, it's great. But how does that fit with our agency and our approach to marketing? Like that's what I want to see. And that's why I have to test them really.
mm, mm. I get you better now.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. That's good. Um, in terms of like case study, like for entrepreneurs that are listening, how can somebody come up with a case study? Like, do you have any tip?
Oh yeah, like it depends. Like for copywriting, that's kind of easy. You pick a topic and then you're like, oh, actually I don't even pick, I ask them to pick one. Because even like that, the choice of the topic that they're going to pick, I want to understand if they get the agency. And then you're like, oh, write something. You don't give, obviously, because like you're just testing, like it's just like you say whatever length you want to write about, but like just send me something you think you like proud of, like you feel like okay, this is good for you, and then I just kind of look at it. But like everything, I try to test it, and like because also for some other kind of roles, the case study might be a former project we worked on, but I just kind of want to see how maybe they would have done things differently
Hmm.
or not. So we worked on so many projects. Like I will pick something. Like if it's a developer, I have a website. Like how do you work? Like let's say we won an RFP for a new website. So how are you
Hmm.
going to handle this project? Like they have to explain to me from the beginning to the end how like they're managing working on a website and all the different steps, so I can understand. Like they don't need to create a website, but I know based on the answers if they know how to manage a website, and if they know how to do like the maintenance, the training, creating the user guides and all of that. So like based on their approach to the work, I understand if they can handle the job
I
pretty
get you.
much.
I get you. Thank you very much. It's been awesome having chat with you on, your journey from the beginning to the vision to advice to business lessons. And thank you for being generous with, sharing insights and your story and even vulnerable moments with us. All
My
right.
pleasure. And thank you for the invite.
No problem. And for those watching, thank you very much and see you at the next episode. Bye.
Bye bye.